I got a request under in the comment section under one of my videos. Somebody wanted to know some information about a herbal supplement called Maca, and I think this stuff is pretty interesting, and it does warrant a video. So here it is. What is maca? Maca is a plant. It's found mainly in Peru. It's grown in the high mountains of Peru under very harsh conditions, usually at high altitudes, anywhere above 13,000 feet. The only plants that can grow and thrive at that altitude, there's only two. One of them is maca. The other one's potatoes. Strangely enough, it has a maca has a long-standing reputation for increasing fertility and sex drive. People in Peru eat as much as half a pound a day of this stuff in powdered form. They boil it first. They think that you have to boil it first to make it safe. So, it's been used there for years. It's known scientifically as Lepidium mayani. And if you think I'm going to keep saying Lepidium mayani throughout this video, you crazy, because I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to call it maca. It's a lot easier. And it's also sometimes known as Peruvian ginseng. It's a cruciferous vegetable, but believe it or not, it's actually in the mustard family, and it's related to other cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. It has a long history of culinary and medicinal use in Peru. As I said, it's been used for a long time. The edible part of the plant, the primary edible part, is the root, which grows underground. It exists in several colors ranging from white to black, red, yellow. And a lot of these things have their own unique quality, which I'll explain later on. In other words, some forms of maca are better for certain things than others. The maca root is generally dried and consumed in powder form, but it's also available in capsules and liquid. It's a good source of a carbohydrate, and it's low in fat and contains a fair amount of fiber. It's also high in some essential vitamins and minerals such as vitamin C, copper, and iron, and it contains up to 16% protein, so it's actually quite nutritious. It also contains various plant compounds, including glucosinolates and polyphenols, which means that maca can be converted similarly to broccoli into sulforaphane, which is an extremely beneficial compound related to prevention of cancer, inhibition of myostatin in muscles, and others. So, that's a good feature of maca. It's been heavily marketed as being effective at improving sexual desire. And the literature on this I'll talk about it in a minute, but it might be slightly overhyped in that way. In other words, but I'll talk about that. But there is some research to back up the claim. For example, a review from 2010 that included 4 randomized clinical studies with a total of 131 participants found evidence that maca improves sexual desire after at least 6 weeks of ingestion. It worked to increase sex drive in both men and women. However, although maca improves sexual desire, it has no effect on testosterone. There's been several studies that have shown that, and I mentioned this is an important point because I see a lot of these so-called testosterone boosting supplements often contain maca. Now, the maca is in there for a reason. It's not going to boost testosterone, but there's a good chance it will boost sexual desire. And it'll make you think that your testosterone is increased because testosterone is the hormone of sexual desire in both sexes. In other words, testosterone increases libido or sexual desire in both men and women. However, as I said, it has no effect on testosterone, and that was shown in a 2002 double-blind, placebo-controlled study that lasted for 12 weeks. In this study, men between the ages of 21 and 56 received 2 doses of maca, either 1,500 milligrams or 3,000 milligrams a day. Others in the study received a placebo. While feelings of sexual desire increased after 2 months on maca, it had zero effect on both testosterone and estrogen. But maca can increase fertility in men. A 2016 study showed that it increased fertility in both infertile and fertile men by improving the quality of semen. I don't mean sailors. Semen is S-E-M-E-N, not S-E-M-M-A-N. Semen are sailors, never mind. In women, ingesting maca can improve some symptoms associated with menopause, including hot flashes, vaginal dryness, Do I have to explain what a vagina is? If I do, you guys are watching the wrong video. Mood swings, sleep problems, and irritability. Maca can also help protect older women against the onset of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a thinning of the bones, usually caused by a long-standing lack of calcium in the diet, and also as estrogen get decreases in women as they age. Estrogen's needed to support bone mass. So as women get older, they tend to get, men can get it too also, but they tend to get this bone-thinning osteoporosis disease, especially women with small bones and small frames. Larger women with higher body fats secrete still, even though they don't secrete a lot of estradiol, they're still producing estrone from their fat deposits, so they're less likely to get osteoporosis. But it's good to know maca might help have some effect at preventing osteoporosis. In women, it also reduces feelings of anxiety and depression and also lowers blood pressure. This involved a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover study conducted in 29 postmenopausal Hong Kong Chinese women. They received 3.3 grams a day of maca or a placebo for 6 weeks each, in either order over 12 weeks. Some studies show, as far as what about maca as an ergogenic aid or increasing exercise performance? Some studies show that maca may increase endurance performance in sports and exercise. A 2012 study of rats showed that maca increased the swimming times to exhaustion of rats supplemented for 3 weeks with 30 and 100 milligrams per kilogram of maca extract. It increased their endurance by 25 and 41% respectively. Supplementation with 100 milligrams per kilogram of maca extract reduced serum lactate dehydrogenase activity and muscle lipid peroxidation, and increased hepatic, that's liver, and muscle total glutathione compared with those values in controls who didn't use the maca. A 2008 study showed similar results in mice. How do you get a mice to ride a bicycle? I don't know. Anyways, but concerning human cyclists, one small study of 8 male cyclists found that they improved the time it took them to complete a nearly 25-mile or 14-kilometer bike ride after 2 weeks of supplementing with maca extract. It also increased feelings of sexual desire in the cyclists, although hopefully not during the race. But there is no evidence to show that maca has any effect on building muscle strength gains. In other words, it's not going to increase testosterone. It's not going to aid. Maybe by increasing endurance, it might help you train a little harder. But there's not really a lot of evidence to show that endurance effect, human evidence. The mouse and rat evidence is good. Animal studies show that maca can help protect the skin against the effects of solar radiation, that's UV rays from the sun. Why am I pointing? I'm indoors. I'm pointing out like there's sun in here. There's no sun in here. Anyway, it protects against the effects of solar radiation, but it'll not replace you still have to use a sun blocker. If you think you're going to put maca on your skin and not get sunburn, it ain't going to happen. You still have to use a UV blocker. By the way, I want to add something. I was talking about this the other day. It's nothing to do with maca, but I don't know. There's a little factoid for you. If you started putting a sun blocker on your skin as a child, let's say 4 years old, and continued it all the way into adulthood, you would not have a single line or wrinkle on your face. Your facial skin would be as smooth as the skin on your butt. There wouldn't be a single line in your face. What am I saying? I'm saying most of the aging effects on facial skin come from the sun, specifically UV rays. It's an interesting factoid. So anyway, other studies show that maca can improve brain function. It's been provided to school children in Peru to boost learning, and it increases memory in rodents with memory impairment, which raises the question: how do you know a rodent has memory impairment? You ask him. Black maca seems to be more specific for brain function. Red maca, another form of maca, has been shown to reduce prostate enlargement in rats. How do you know a rat has an enlarged prostate? You ask him. The usual supplemental dose of maca ranges from 1.5 to 5 grams a day. The most common type of maca is yellow maca, but the black and red versions offer other benefits, such as how red maca reduces prostate size in rats. Probably does in humans too, but there's not really a lot of evidence for that. In fact, there's been a couple of studies that compared red maca to finasteride, also known as Proscar or Propecia, which is the actual medical indication for that is to decrease prostate enlargement. Secondarily, smaller doses of finasteride are used to treat male pattern baldness. But what these studies suggest is that red maca is as effective as finasteride in reducing enlarged prostates or preventing prostate enlargement, which is very interesting. Of course, for finasteride as a drug could have side effects, whereas red maca has very few to no side effects, which I'll talk about in a minute. Maca, similarly to cruciferous vegetables, contains substances called goitrogens, which can interfere with thyroid function by preventing the uptake of iodine into the thyroid gland. So those with existing thyroid problems should be careful with maca. That's about really the main problem that you have to deal with maca. So to sum up, maca, it's a pretty good stuff for again, it's a little bit, to say that it's an aphrodisiac would be taking it too far, but there's pretty good evidence, including human studies, that show that it does increase sexual desire in both sexes. So if you're having a little problem with low libido or sex drive, and you're not taking testosterone or something like that, taking some maca would probably, help a little bit. I think I do believe it would help in that sense. And as minor ergogenic effects, it might increase endurance. And it's a pretty safe herb. It's not dangerous, but a primary point that I want to make is that no form of maca will increase testosterone, none. So if you're taking it to boost testosterone, you're wasting your money. I talked about maca and other testosterone boosting herbs in my Applied Metabolics newsletter. So if you want more information, you could refer to that. I discussed every herb known to mankind that has any association with testosterone in that article. It's in my Applied Metabolics newsletter, and it's free for current subscribers of Applied Metabolics. It's in the online article archive. And speaking of Applied Metabolics, if you want, the most in-depth, informative, evidence-based information on nutrition, exercise science, food supplements that work and those that don't, hormonal therapy, anti-aging research you can use today, fat loss techniques that really work, women's health and fitness, ergogenic aids. Did I say hormonal therapy? I'm not sure if I did. Exercise science and much more. You could subscribe today to my Applied Metabolics newsletter, www.appliedmetabolics.com. Comes out on the first of every month. It's 40 to 50 pages, no ads, just pure, unadulterated, ad-free information based on science, and it also includes my 58 years of personal experience and consistent study over almost 6 decades. It's all in that newsletter. Nobody could match that level of experience to my knowledge, as far as I know. None of these are the digital publications. I'm also a professional writer. I've been doing this for over 40 years, and I know how to write for the public. My Applied Metabolics newsletter is written in magazine style. It's easy to understand. It's not written in that scientific jargon, as is the case with many of these other digital exercise and nutrition publications. They're written by a lot of these academic guys who are used to writing very thick papers, and they really are not very good communicators. Their work is very hard to read, and also quite boring, if I say so myself. I can't even get through that stuff. I mean, they don't even make it interesting. But I think that you will enjoy my Applied Metabolics, because I not only do I include up-to-date science, but I also include a lot of anecdotes of what I've encountered in the various gyms over the years, training with people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and other stuff. It's only in my Applied Metabolics newsletter. And if you subscribed, I'll send you an invitation to join my private Applied Metabolics Facebook page, where each day I post new information right off the press about nutrition, exercise science, general health and fitness. I do have an email portal on my Applied Metabolics website, but that's exclusively for subscribers of Applied Metabolics. I'll answer short questions submitted to me. I do not answer unsolicited questions. You're welcome to leave comments or suggestions for future videos under this video, under the comment section. As I said, somebody asked me about to do a video on Maca, so here it is. So I do respond to suggestions if I feel that the subject matter will appeal to a large number of people. I don't do very limited specialized videos. One guy the other day asked me to do one on Klinefelter syndrome, which is a genetic disease. I don't think that would be of interest to a large number of people. Another one guy wanted me to do one on urine therapy, which really pissed me off, but that's another topic. If you want to know about urotherapy, I can't suggest a book. It's called Yellow Streams by I.P. Daly. That's about it. If you want to have the best friend you'll ever have. Now, normally I'm trying to include Bruno in my videos, but he's out cold on the couch. I don't have the heart to disturb the little guy. He's sleeping soundly, so I didn't include him in this video. But go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. They're the best friends you'll ever have. Take care. Thanks for listening.